Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time, judging by the title, it's a pretty interesting one, and it's definitely one of my favorite stories to tell back from like the 2017 era of living in LA. Let me say, I obviously have a lot of crazy story times from when I lived in my hometown in New York, but living in LA, you see a lot of things there. Like literally my first day ever moving to LA, I saw a homeless guy take a crap just in the middle of the street. Like I was driving by and he was just taking a dump at a red light at the crosswalk. I knew after that moment, after that first day of living there, that my life was about to change. I was about to see some things and experience some things that are going to shape me as a human being. So let's jump into one of those things. So the story time takes place about a month after I moved to LA. Now, I don't talk about it much, but the apartment, the first ever apartment I ever rented there, was a one-bedroom apartment on Hollywood Boulevard. So, literally in the chaos of Hollywood, on the Strip. Literally you would walk outside of my door, and the stars were right there. That was the sidewalk. And I was, super excited about it, because, that was what Hollywood was to me. So I was excited to live there and, be amongst all the craziness and, I went from living in a town with a tiny population to the Strip of Hollywood, so I thought that it'd be a crazy big, awesome change, right? Well, it was. It was really good, but it also had a lot of very bad things happen, and this is one of them. So yeah, about a month after living there, I was in my apartment one night. It was about 6 p.m. I was finishing up a YouTube video. I was rendering it out, about to upload it. I was sitting on a call with a few friends on my computer, just talking to some homies, playing some games, just kind of chilling, right? Nothing really crazy. Pretty much the same stuff I would do every night, and things were good. I had the window cracked in my bedroom, letting the warm California air come in. It was nice, right? And I started getting pretty hungry. So what any, hungry teenager does that can't cook, they open up Uber Eats and they Uber Taco Bell to their house. So that's what I did. I Ubered Taco Bell to my apartment. It was there in about 10 minutes, very quick. I live not far from one. So after it arrived at my door, I walked downstairs, I opened the front door, I grabbed the food from the lady, and I noticed something when I'm grabbing the food. There was a homeless woman right outside my door, just sitting there on the sidewalk, right where the stars were. She was sitting there, and she gives me a really, really weird look. Not a dirty look, but not a good look either. She looks at me with a very straight face. And I don't think much of it. Just figured it was, a homeless lady that, just was looking at me. So I went back inside to my apartment building, went back to my apartment, opened the door, went into my bedroom, sat down, and jumped back on my computer, and went back to, uploading this video and just chilling. Now, the rest of that night was pretty normal. I was just on my computer pretty much all night, and at about 2, 3 in the morning, I started getting pretty tired. So I turned it off, laid down in my bed in my room, and I slowly drifted off into sleep. Now, I made the mistake of not locking my apartment door. I did this kind of frequently, which is stupid. I don't do it now. But when I was a teenager and, newly living on my own, I didn't really think twice about locking my door. I also thought, I'm in a really secure apartment building, on the boulevard. There's 2 doors you have to go through to even get to the apartments, and there's 24/7 security. I'll be fine. That was my thought process when I laid down in bed and I hadn't locked my door. I was so lazy I didn't want to get up and lock it. I would just kind of cope and give myself reasons that I probably won't get robbed or murdered in my sleep. So yeah, I fell asleep. My apartment door was completely unlocked and just free for anyone to open it. And I slept for about 2 hours. I started having this really weird dream where I was back in high school and I was in a classroom at my desk just working on a paper, and I was stuck on some problem. And I raised my hand to have the teacher come and help me. And when she came to my desk, she started whispering. When teachers whisper so they don't disturb anybody else around you in the class. But here's the thing. Do you guys know when you have a dream and something happens in the dream, like a sound, but the actual reality of it is that sound is coming from real life? Well, that's what was happening. This teacher, quote unquote teacher, was whispering to me in the dream. But then I realized in my dream, wait a minute, I think someone's whispering in real life. And I woke up immediately. Right when I had that thought, instantly woke up because I, was aware of my dream. And my eyes opened, and I opened my eyes to a fucking figure standing at the foot of my bed, whispering "Are you awake?" And I freak out. I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I jump up and I immediately run out of my room because I think I'm about to die. Rightfully so. And I don't just run out of my room, I run out of my apartment in my goddamn boxers, down the hallway, to the elevator, down the elevator, to the security office, in my underwear. And I run out that elevator, and the guy that's working the night shifts down there, his name was Teddy, he's sitting there at the desk, and he's like, yo, what's wrong, Austin? What's going on? And he could tell something was wrong because I was running in my fucking boxers. And I was like, there was somebody in my apartment. There was a random person. I couldn't even look at them. The room was pitch black. I ran out. And he's like, are you sure? Like, I would have saw them. Like, I'm here. I've been here all night. I'm like, no, bro, I'm telling you, someone slipped by you. I don't know how. I don't know why. But, like, they're in my apartment. Call the cops. So he does. He calls the police. They come. They go up the elevator. And they come back down. And when the elevator opens, there is a woman in handcuffs. And I had to do a double take because I recognized her. I was like, holy shit, that's the lady. That's the homeless lady from earlier on the boulevard. And after the cops escorted her out of the building, one of them came up to me and started talking to me, like getting my side of the story, asked me what happened, all this stuff. And after I told him, he was like, all right, well, listen, we spoke to her. She's obviously not in a state of like well-being. She's definitely got a lot going on mentally. When we asked why she was in your apartment, she said she didn't know and then asked us for food. So, I don't think she's, very lucid, if that makes sense. And I was like, no, I get it. I know what you're saying. He's like, so what do you want to do? Do you want to press charges? And I was like, no, honestly, I don't. I just want her to get help. And he's like, okay. Well, luckily, we have a lot of connections with homeless shelters here and resources, so we can help you do that. And I was like, okay, good. And that's all I wanted. I didn't want her to go to jail. And like, as crazy as that sounds, I know people are probably like, yo, if someone broke into my house, they're going straight to prison. And I get that. But like, this lady was not well mentally. And I don't think she wanted to hurt me. She didn't have a weapon or anything, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Like, they searched her. And like, I think she was just lost. Not physically, but like mentally. And I was just like, you know what? Like, get her help. And that's what they did. They ended up taking her to a shelter, connecting her with the staff there, and they like stepped in from that point forward and started helping her. I didn't check in after that because I just, it wasn't really my business. But anyway, yeah, that's what the cops did. They took her to a shelter, and I didn't press charges. However, I turned around after the cops left, right? I turned around, I looked at Teddy, and I was like, yo, you are the security of this building. How did she get past you? More importantly, how did she get on the elevator? How did she get to my door? And he turns the little monitor around, the computer monitor, and he starts showing me the security footage. This lady walked in with a food driver, like a DoorDash driver, or Postmates driver, whatever, Uber Eats. And the driver just said nothing and let this homeless lady follow him into the elevator up to my floor. They were delivering food to my neighbor, and this homeless lady just walked right by to my door, right next door, opened it, and walked in. Now, I just gotta let you guys know how crazy this really is, because out of all of the hundreds of people that lived in my building, she happened to pick the one guy that had already saw her earlier in the day. That's an insane chance. Like, the chances of that is crazy. Like, it really made me think I was living in a simulation for like a good week after that, because like the odds of that is insane. But anyway, the staff of the apartment emailed me the next day apologizing for Teddy's terrible security job, and I said it's fine. He just needs to look at the monitors a little bit more closely, or look at the people that are walking in a little bit more closely, because the desk was right there. I remember for like 2 weeks after this, my mom would call me every day begging me to move home because she was afraid I was going to get murdered because someone just snuck into my apartment in the dead of the night. She also yelled at me to lock my doors every night, every hour of every day as well, moving forward. And I did. That kind of made me wake up and realize, like, anyone can just do anything, so I'm going to leave my doors locked. And that's really the moral of the story. Moral of the story is, try and live in a safe area if you can, and lock your doors whenever you're sleeping, or not home, or even if you are home and you don't feel very safe. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.
Be great while they keep on long. Like, hey, heard they all mad cause I did this. Auto-tune on, but they sound like shit. I will never change, yeah, still the same kid, still the same team.